Design is a challenging, complex, wonderful, and delicious profession. Every day the designer is presented with problems he must solve visually. And contrary to what many may think, design is not just about creating logos, flyers, or art. It's much more. But what is design? According to Brazilian designer Alexandre Vonner, design is a project. It's simple but too vague. Let's try a less broad definition. According to Paul Rolfe and Yanir Wan and their paper entitled A Proposal for a Formal Definition of the Design Concept, design is a specification of an object manifested by an agent intended to accomplish goals in a particular environment using a set of primitive components satisfying a set of requirements subject to constraints. I know it seems complex to understand, so I offer a simple explanation. Design is a way to communicate an idea or concept using design processes, elements, and principles. Of course, this brings more questions. What is a design process, element, or principle? Let's take it easy because by the end of this class it should be easier to understand. What isn't design? It's funny how this question seems slightly easier to answer. Many people start learning design with preconceived ideas of what designers do and end up being disappointed when they realize how much theory there is behind design. So let's make it clear what design is not. Design is not about knowing how to use software such as Photoshop, Illustrator, Blender, GIMP, or Windows Paint. To learn design, you don't have to draw like Leonardo da Vinci, paint like Rembrandt, or sculpt like Michelangelo. Designers don't necessarily spend ridiculous amounts of hours in front of a computer, and ideally, he'll only use the computer for the final stages of his work. Believe me when I say there are many designers that don't use a computer at all, except to scan and reproduce work they've created. If you create a logo for some company without going through a process beforehand, it means you haven't done design. Design must have a meaning, and it must communicate something. Cake design and hair design aren't design in the real sense of the word, because it isn't communicating anything. There's no project, there's no reason. Design must communicate a message. If it doesn't, it's art. Which brings us to the next question. Is design art? The most straightforward answer is no, but allow me to expand on the subject. Art must be interpreted, design should not be. But what does this mean? When you see a painting, it will provoke an emotion, a feeling, or an image. A painting that gives me the sense of anxiety may give you an impression of bliss. Every person interprets art as they see fit, but design has to be interpreted by the same way by everyone. It doesn't mean design can't be art. Of course it can. There are many design projects that have their own space in museums, because they are indeed true masterpieces. But above all, they have a function that is understood and not interpreted. Art is beauty and design is aesthetics, and further on I'll explain the difference between them both. What's the difference between design, graphic design, product design, web design, and so on? Well, design has several branches. The most popular ones are graphic design, product design, and web design. There's also fashion design, interface design, game design, motion design, and so on. In simple terms, a graphic designer will create printed graphics, such as logos, posters, flyers, folders, etc. A product designer will create physical elements such as chairs, tables, electronics, and so on. And web designers work with digital design, creating websites, online banners, and anything related to online image.